Welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at Jam 7 for our part. If you take a look, we have two concentric circles here, and then we have another two concentric circles over here. The outside of this smaller circle is 2 inches. The big circle is 3 inches. And we have two holes in the center of each one of these that is 1 inch in diameter. Today with the techniques we're going to be taking a look at are placing sketch planes on different surfaces. We're going to project geometry, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we're drawing. We're going to use the tangent constraint. That's something new for us. Offset we've used before, but we're going to also use it here as well. Center marks to identify centers, especially of those circles. Section view. Stock box point and fixed size box during our stock setup for our cam operations. And we're going to also do in our cam operations some contour cutting. Okay? Excited to do Jam 7 with you? Why don't you come along with? We're going to start from our Inventor New window. We're going to select New from the ribbon bar at the top, Standard IPT, and click Create. As always, we're going to begin a new part with a 2D sketch on our XY plane, and click Front in our World View Cube. We're going to start with those two circles. We have a 3-inch circle that we're going to place at around our origin and a 2-inch circle out here. Each one of these is extruded back 0.75. Can you see these dimensions on the drawing? Okay. Going back to my part, I'm going to grab my circle tool, start from my origin. This circle is 3 inches, press enter on the keyboard. And I'm going to take over here to the right hand side, I'm going to click another circle, and this circle diameter is 2 inches. Press enter on the keyboard. Now we're going to constrain these two together. The first constraint we're going to put on it is a dimension. So I'm going to dimension from the center of my big circle to the center of the 2-inch circle. And this we want to have 4.5 inches, so type in 4.5 and green check mark. The other constraint we're going to put on this is to make sure that the center of this circle at our origin is even horizontally to this circle as well. So we're going to come up to our top in our constraints next to your dimension, and we want to find that horizontal constraint that looks like a feather going horizontal with the 3 little lines coming out of the bottom. Okay? And we want to click the center of our 3-inch circle and the center of our 2-inch circle, and that's going to line them up horizontally. Next, green check mark, finish sketch, go home, and now we're going to take and extrude. We're going to select both of these circles. We want to extrude in a flip direction, and we want to extrude a distance, taking a look at my drawing, 0.75. Okay, so going back to my part, we're going to enter in a distance of 0.75, and then click OK. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to create this platform that's on the back that connects the two circles together. Then we're going to come back and do the rib and then finish off with our circles. So if we take a look at that, these lines that are coming down are angular, that are connecting the two together, and we're going to connect them with those tangent constraints. Something new for us, so pay attention as we go through. We're going to take a 2D sketch, and I want to place this on the back of my part. Usually we've been placing our sketches on the front or the right hand side or the top. Here we're going to come and highlight the back of our part. Click to select it. Okay, now what we need to do first is we're going to take and project the geometry from these two circles onto this sketch. So I'm going to project geometry right here, and I'm going to click the big circle and the little circle to project that geometry on there. Next, I'm going to get my line tool, and I'm going to start on the curve of the circle to create my line. Please don't lock on to the 12 o'clock position of this. You want to be off of that snap on the 12, and you want to be on the curve or the arch of the circle. And I want to come down and do the same thing to this smaller circle. Make sure you're not locked on to the 12 o'clock position of that circle. Okay? And do the same thing for the bottom. Don't lock on to the 6 o'clock position on these. Okay? Once we have that done, now we're going to make these lines tangent to the circles. And we do that by coming up to our constraints here and we're going to select our tangent constraint. This one right here that looks like a circle and a line as a hat. Okay? And I want to click my line and the big circle. I'm going to click the line and my smaller circle, and I want to do the same exact thing to the bottom. Okay, now I have these lines tangent to those circles. Now we're going to take green check mark finish sketch, and we're going to take and extrude. Another important feature that we used in connecting those lines and projecting that sketch or projecting geometry is if we didn't project our geometry, when we go and highlight this to select this area to turn red, this won't turn red because we don't have the curve from this circle coming down. Okay, so if you didn't do that, you're going to have to go back, project your geometry onto this sketch, and then finish your sketch, and you'll be able to move forward like we are. Once that turns red, click to select it. Obviously that's going in the wrong direction, so let's flip that around. And I want to have my thickness of this, let's take a look, is 0.375. Okay, so going back to my part, I want to enter in a distance right here of 0.375. And select OK. Excellent. Next, let's take a look at placing this strengthening piece. It's kind of like a rib down the middle. Okay, let's take a look at doing that. We're going to once again 2D sketch. We're going to place this on the front of that little platform. Click front in your world view cube or magnifying glass piece of paper to zoom all. And we're going to create that with our line tool. Now the first thing that we want to do is project our geometry onto here, because I can't select the center of my circle. Okay? So what we're going to do is project our geometry, grab each one of these circles, then I'm going to get my line tool and I'm going to snap onto the origin. When I get my green dot, I'm going to sketch this out and snap on to the origin, the middle of the other circle. Okay? And then press escape. This is where we're going to use our offset command. We're going to offset that line on either side. If you take a look right here in our drawing, we're going to offset down 0.25 and we're going to offset up 0.25. So this whole rib here is a 1/2 inch thickness or 1/2 inch wide. So now we're going to use that offset command. And I'm going to offset this line going up. Make sure your cursor is in the up position, 0.25. Enter on the keyboard. We're going to take that center line again, and we're going to offset it going down, 0.25. Enter on the keyboard. Green check mark, finish sketch. And before we extrude this, let's go back and take a look at our drawing. On our drawing, the height of this rib right here is 0.25, so that's our extrusion. So I'm going to extrude. I want to select that bottom feature first, and then the top one. We'll extrude them both together. And it's going in the right direction, so we don't have to flip it. But we're going to enter in 0.25 for my extrusion distance. And click OK. Next, we have to take care of these holes. Okay, the holes are in the center of each one of these circles. They're 1 inch in diameter, and they go all the way through. Let's take a look at creating those. We're going to take our 2D sketch, place it on the top of our circle. Click front in your world view cube or magnifying glass piece of paper to zoom all. And what we're going to do is I'm going to project my other circle onto here. Let's see if we can get it first. So I'm going to take my circle tool. And you see how I can't get the center of that circle to highlight? So I'm going to press the escape. I'm going to project my geometry. I want my circles to come up to this sketch plane. Now I'm going to get my circle tool and I'm going to click the center of that circle, and this diameter is 1. Press enter on the keyboard. I'm going to get the center of this other circle. When it turns green, click and stretch out a 1, enter on the keyboard. Okay? Green check mark, finish sketch. Now we're going to take and extrude. Here we have to select both of these circles. You're going to have to move your cursor around until that circle highlights red. And this is going to be an easy one for us. We don't have to enter in a distance. We're going to make it go through all. Looks like the arrow going through the pancakes here. And then select OK. Great job. This part looks almost finished. Let's go up to the top, above our ribbon bar, above our tab line, and change default. Click on the area here, and we want to go down and we're going to select violet, which is towards the bottom in the V's, violet for our material. Once you've done with that, let's go up to the orange file in the top left-hand corner of our ribbon bar. Let's go down to Save As. We're going to put this into our H drive. Click on the pull-down menu all the way down to the bottom, first initial last name 000, gray box with the green line underneath of it. And we're going to call this, so this part is 7 Jam, and then type your last name. Click Save. Great job. Next, what's going to happen is in the next video, we're going to show you how to run the tool paths in order to cut this. Looking forward to seeing you there.